Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Extravaganza. Without Lou tonight, unfortunately, Lou is a little bit under the weather, but you are with Mitch. This is the Extravaganza with Mitch. How are you? Going to talk about several things before we have our guest on this evening. Hope everybody's doing well, especially with the weather. Now, I know in the east, northeast, it's been dreadful. We're going to ask Ken where he is because he's in the Boston area, what his weather has been like. But today, ooh, it was a beautiful day here in Wilmington, North Carolina. We had 73 degrees, had a great little walk outside today. It was beautiful. And we're actually expecting this for the whole weekend. So we're excited about that. So hopefully, where you are, it is weather that is comfortable for you to go outside and enjoy it. Um, Talk about a little bit of spring training. Focus on the Phillies here. Those of you know that I am a devout and crazy Phillies fan. And there's good news. The good news is Justin Crawford's looking pretty good. He is looking pretty good. And Bryce Harper, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. And Bryce Harper is also looking good. He played well for the American USA yesterday against Canada, so that was good. And let's see, Alec Bohm is playing well, and Adolis Garcia, haven't seen much of him lately. Um, he's doing okay. I'm thinking we'll see more of him when everybody gets back together after the World Baseball Classic. Now, I looked at the World Baseball Classic rosters today from each pool. I don't think there's going to be much competition in all of these pools. I mean, in Pool A, you have Cuba, Canada, Puerto Rico, Panama, and Colombia. Though most of these teams have some major league players, a lot of them you've never heard of. But even based on that, I'm looking at Puerto Rico. It's coming out of there as number one. They have an amazing lineup. I think they're going to come out of that and become that pool and become one of the four teams in the final round. Pool B, you have Mexico, Italy, the United States, Brazil, and Great Britain. The U.S. has a huge advantage in talent from what we see. Again, we see what we know is what we see on there. And if you've been paying attention, the roster's loaded. Mexico going to come out of there number two. Again, Italy, Brazil has a couple of players from the major leagues. Great Britain does, just a few. But without a doubt, the United States and Mexico are going to be 1-2 in that particular pool. In Pool C, you have Chinese Taipei, Japan, Korea, Australia, and Czechia. Neither of those, well, Czechia and Australia are not known for baseball. They have players that are going to play, obviously, and we'll see what their competition is like. It's going to be interesting to see what the competition actually is with these teams from these countries that don't have a huge baseball, have big prowess in baseball. So we'll see what happens there. I believe Japan comes out of that bracket. Shohei is not going to pitch. He's going to be the DH. So, but again, we don't know many of the Japanese players. Yamamoto is playing, but that's the only one that I recognized. And the Dominican Republic is strong. In Pool D, you got Venezuela, who I believe will come in second. The Netherlands, Israel, and Nicaragua. Again, a lot of these teams have rosters that you've never heard of these players. But I believe if you look up the Dominican Republic roster, they are loaded too. So I'm thinking it's going to be if it works out the way the pool that happens to run, it'll be a competitive. If it's a finals, Dominican Republic against the United States. team. So that's something to look forward to. Um, the Classic starts this evening with a game. I forget who. I know Australia's playing. I forget who else. Um, but that's what we got going now with baseball. NCAA is wrapping up the regular season. Selection Sunday is not this Sunday. Daylight savings time. We get an hour of sunlight, which is great. But Sunday the 15th. So I don't know if Lou and I will have a pool or not. We might do that. We might offer and run a pool. We'll see what happens. We'll probably put that out there and see if we want to do something. So I think it's definitely we'll put it out there. We'll see if people are interested. That's wrapping up. Hockey and basketball are getting into their final month. So we'll see what happens as the spring begins in full mode. Beginning of middle of March, you've got players back from the World Baseball Classic. Spring training's kicking in. And I'm always looking into the potential lockout, which I continue to read pretty much every other day that there is no way that there won't be a lockout. Players are adamant about the salary cap. That's obviously going to be the bigger issue. You got this new guy, Tony Clark, and his troubles are put aside. An interim director of the Major League Baseball Players Association, who is a lawyer, so he's dealt with negotiations, and we'll see what happens. I mean, nobody wants one, but it looks like it's going to happen. Speaking of baseball, I told people we're going to open some packs of cards. And if you have been with me before, and I've opened, this is a box of Topps 75th anniversary baseball 2026. I don't ever really get, I can honestly say, I get a hit, probably one every 250 packs. And this pack is maybe, this year, maybe 20. So we'll see what we have. We have a Titans of the game, Ronald Acuna. Okay, Acuna coming back, could have a good year. Mets rookie who played well last year, who pitched well last year, Jonathan. He pitched well when he first came out, but then he had some trouble towards the end of the season. Let's see who else we have. Fernando Tatis Jr. Let's see anybody else worth noting. No. Drew Gilbert of the Giants, a rookie card. Jacob Mizorowski, who got to play in the All-Star game last year, crazily enough. With what did he pitch? 10 innings, and he got to be on the All-Star team. To me, that was ridiculous. But rookie card, let's see if he can play well for those Milwaukee Brewers. All right. And Pittsburgh, about the Pittsburgh Pirates and their team ownership spending some money, getting some players. See how that works out. Juan Soto, I'm not a good right fielder, but right with the bat. We have Samuel Basallo of the Orioles. And the Orioles might do some damage in the AL East this year. You got Joe Ryan. Let's see. Jacob Lopez, Carlos Rodon, Jose Barrios, Will Banfield, rookie card of the Reds. Pavin Smith, the Diamondbacks, Riley Green, Josh Smith, Brian Bello, and O'Neill Cruz. Decent players, some of them, but no hits in terms of baseball cards. My luck continues to hold. Well, I get something worthwhile. Besides rookie cards are great. That's what I collect. I collect rookie cards, but I would like to get some kind of hit somewhere. And listen, you can't not like a Mike Trout card. Okay? I like the Titans of the game cards. Baseballs in the background. As you can see, well designed. I like the card. It stands out. I like that. All right, what do we got? Kyle Teal for the White Sox, rookie card. Oops, sorry about that. A Atlanta Braves hopping to it card. Reed Detmers, Sean Manaea, Mets, Hayden Birdsong, future stars for the Giants. Bubba Chandler, Pittsburgh, Ryan Nelson, the Diamondbacks, Ryan Jeffers, Bradley Rodriguez. Haven't heard that name before. Rookie, San Diego Padres. Again, I don't know the status of most of these guys, so who knows where they are? Will they make their rosters? Don't know. We will see. Pack number, I believe this is number 5 or 6. Rafael Devers. Not too exciting. The greatest hits. Max Muncy. Whoopee. Again, I'm looking for rookies and star players. Jose Soriano for the Angels. Not a rookie card. Will Vest. Tigers. Tristan Peters, rookie card for the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh, how about this name? I don't think this player, is going to do anything now or in the near future. Why do you continue to take banned substances and then screw your team like Jose Alvarado did last year? His is a 162 game because it's his second violation. Some of these guys, you don't understand it. Ben Rice, not his rookie card. I have some rookie cards, but good player for the Yankees. Colby Thomas, rookie for the Athletics. Luis Angel Acuna, I have his rookie card, and this is his second year card. It is a Future Stars card. Decent player. National League leaders in wins: Peralta, Luzardo from the Phillies, and Logan Webb for the Giants. And Houston Astros card, and Bobby Witt Jr., really good player, expected to do big things. I saw that somebody predicted that he would be the MVP of the World Baseball Classic. All right, 2 more packs, and then we will have our guest. I can't wait to talk to him. It's a very unique subject in a book. Jack Caglione, this is considered a rookie card. Good player for the Royals. Some people predict that they will win the division. We'll see. Daniel Schneemann, Cal Raleigh. I was after his rookie card. I got it from somebody. I have his rookie card. Never knew Cal Raleigh. None of us knew Cal Raleigh really until last year. Great player. Troy Melton, Detroit rookie. Nico Horner, Joey Bart, Dylan Smith, rookie. Joe Adell, Andrew Vaughn, Mike Yastrzemski, Mookie Betts, and Jacob Young. Last card. And I'm telling you, I don't get lucky. I don't know that there is any hits, but I've seen people pull hits out of these packs. I never get them. I'm not lucky. All right, great player for the Orioles. Titans of the game, Gunnar Henderson. Colby Thomas, rookie card, 75th anniversary card for the A's. And we have National League leaders in ERA, Skeen, Yamamoto, and Christopher Sanchez. It's a good card to hold on to. Those guys are going to be really good again this year. All right, last group: Matthew Boyd, Spencer Horwitz, Pittsburgh, Davis Martin, Elias Diaz, Andre Lara, Washington Nationals rookie. A Philly Citizens Bank card. It's something that I like. I'll put in my special Phillies binder. Jackson Merrill, good player for the Padres, an athletics card. And Ronald Acuna Jr., will he have a good comeback year? We will see. Injury bug has hit the Braves again. I'm not that upset. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but if it helps my team, okay. So that was my cards. And baseball, we play the game. We play all sports as kids, a lot of us. And do we really know what we get out of it? Well, a lot of that depends on the coach. My guest has been in the field of journalism for, I believe, over 30 years. And he has now co-authored a book. And he's an adjunct professor. He's gone from one end to the other. Let's bring him on right now. Hi, Ken Davidoff. How are you? Well, I can't hear you. We're going to try it. Oh, nope. No, I can't. I can't hear you for some reason. Yeah, you love computers. You love technology sometimes. Go ahead.
How about now?
I got you.
Okay. My bad. I didn't realize I was muted, but I'm going to also try to use my headphones.
Okay. How are you, sir?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. I'm very good.
Good. I have to tell you, you will know where I'm from when I mention this town.
Okay.
Where I grew up, Livingston, New Jersey.
I was just talking to my college roommate is from Livingston, New Jersey.
Is that right?
Speaking to him today, yes.
So you wrote for the Record, which I remember getting.
Yeah, and Livingston, you got the Bergen Record?
Yeah, well, not the Bergen. I think once in a while I would see it somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So when I saw that, I said, "Oh, another Jersey boy. Gotta love it."
Yeah.
Gotta love it. How's things? Well, you're in Massachusetts now.
I live in New York City. I spend
you do live in New York. Okay.
some time in Massachusetts. I'm actually in Boston right now as we speak.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so how's the weather wherever you've been? Boston and New York right now.
Yeah, it's warmed up today, so that was good. And the snow is melting, and it should be completely gone by Memorial Day.
You can only hope from your lips to God's ears, for crying out loud. Yeah, we my daughter up in she's out of Abington, Pennsylvania. She's like, a lot of people. I mean, I'm all over Twitter and can we get rid of this snow? This is ridiculous. And Ken, even down here, we had a very cold Wilmington, North Carolina, very cold February, very cold.
Wow.
We've been here 4 years, and It's been the coldest it's ever been. So thank goodness it's breaking. And I got out and took a nice walk today, 73 degrees. The sun was out, a little breeze. So, yeah, it's baseball season, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So thank you for coming on. I saw the book. I saw what you were doing, and I was like, well, I got to get Ken on because and we'll talk more about this in a minute. I want to go over on your background first. Pardon me, because I've always worked with kids.
Oh.
And whether it was I was a program director or as an instructor for sports classes, camp director. It was always my goal to get the best out of kids and to teach them, in essence, making good decisions. And I haven't read the book, but I'm guessing some of what is on those chapters talks about everything in life is about making decisions and choices. You make a good choice, you know it, and when you you don't know what you're doing, it's got to come from here, right? Knowing what make the right choice. And if you make the wrong choice over and over again, you got to figure out what to fix. So does that somehow reverberate with some of the chapters or maybe the entire book?
It certainly reverberates with some of the chapters. I mean, I'm just looking through now. So the one that comes up is chapter 38. And I'm sorry, we said the name of the book? I can't remember.
101 lessons learned from the dugout.
Yeah, 101 lessons from the dugout.
Yeah.
So chapter 38 is tagging up, pause and control your anger. And then we have, when you round first base after a hit, turn and look ahead, ambition, the risk reward quotient there.
Okay.
And with tagging up, it's really about the idea, addressing younger players, the idea of when you hit a fly ball, maybe your instinct is to just run, but no, you have to learn how to tag up in life, right? And the same thing, with your impulse control, which, even me as a 55-year-old, sometimes I could still use some impulse control. When I reactions to certain people saying certain things, sometimes I could remember to tag up in those situations and take a moment to collect myself.
And I think that happens to all of us. So, and I read the initial piece about who the book was for, and again, having not read the book, but read about it, you saw me putting out there this week and today and yesterday on Twitter and on Facebook, not necessarily for kids. Anybody who works with children, this book is for them. Teachers, coaches, the players, anybody who works with kids, this book can be utilized to help. I think, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're saying this book is written for young adults, ages 12 and up, and their parents and coaches, and
yeah,
throw in teachers as well. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've got an ability, and just to put this out there, a market that you can go to that talking about camping, right? The American Camp Association has two huge meetings a year, the Tri-State Camp Conference, and which is always held in Atlantic City, and the national this year is being held, I believe, in San Diego. I'm just going to put this out there. You would make a terrific conference session leader or keynote speaker based on what you've written and how it appeals again to the grandiose population of those people who deal with kids, which is camp directors, camp counselors, camp owners. So I'm just going to put that out there right now for you because I think you would be awesome.
I appreciate that. Can you connect me with anybody?
Yeah, I will. I can do that.
Right,
I will do that tomorrow after we get off. I will do that with you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were a journalist for over 30 years. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I was full-time for 29. And now, the last 4, I call myself retired. I do a little bit of writing here and there.
And you wrote Yankees, New York Mets?
Yeah, I wrote for New York publication, New Jersey, New York publications. 1998, I became the Yankees beat writer for the Bergen Record. And then in 2004-05, I got promoted to baseball columnist for Newsday out on Long Island. And so when you do that for a New York publication, and I later did for the New York Post, you're focusing on the Yankees and Mets, but you also are kind of canvassing the entire industry.
Right. And I listened to a podcast that you were on today, and you talked about I forget his name, who it was, but how did you get into the adjunct professorship and then writing this book? And you mentioned how much of a grind it was, and that as a 7-year-old, you wanted to be this guy that you have been, right?
Yeah.
So take us through that, because I'm sure other people have not heard this transition story that you moved from one area to another.
Yeah, Lou. So basically when I turned 50, which was 2021, I kind of realized I wasn't enjoying the job anymore, and the job was just getting harder and harder because the way media was evolving, because of the way the whole world was evolving. And, I was talking with my wife, who stuck by me all those years when I was traveling 150 nights a year. And she said, well, you don't have to do this anymore. You can quit and try something else. And that's why I decided to do. My contract was done on February 1st, 2022. So a couple weeks before that, I gave notice. I wound up working another month just to help the New York Post with the transition. And I just kind of jumped off a cliff professionally. I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then fortunately I had a literary agent, Lisa Leshney, and I believe it was right before I quit. She paired me up with this gentleman, Harley Rothbard, who was my co-author for this book. And we got the ball rolling on that, but that took a few years to sell and for us to finish it. And then also it was 3 days after I put on social media that I was leaving and open to ideas. An old friend of mine reached out to me. His name is Steve DeSalvo, and he was the president of Endicott College in Beverly, Massachusetts. And he said, hey, how would you like to teach I had known Steve through the baseball world. He had helped launch the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation, and then he wound up becoming a college president. And so I was very excited by that prospect, and I wound up visiting Endicott and meeting a lot of people there, and they eventually offered me the opportunity to teach a class, and I've been doing it now. This is my 6th semester, and I really love it.
Yeah, I think. So let me ask this question. It's different. Yes, definitely. Oh, like you said, the grind being away all that time. And there was ever a point where you said, really, what's the purpose here? And you see lots of people saying on TV shows, what is my purpose? What am I really doing? I'm writing. That's great. But, what is really my sense of purpose? And then you found, because you're a writer, that you were able to, in essence, give back as a professor. And that feels really good, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, and that's again, as one who worked with kids all my life, I felt I was lucky enough to have been able to do that. Right. I was so teaching kids skills and teaching kids physical skills, and then when I was coaching or just teaching classes or leading staff trainings, the ability to give back and to really provide my expertise on a specific area made me feel really good that I was helping other people. So you and Harley got together with this book. How did the whole thing, you got together, but then what was the process about how you were going to put it together, the book itself?
Well, Lou, I have to, be honest with you. So this book is really Harley's baby. I mean, if you look at the cover here, his name is listed first. And the reason his name is listed first is because he came up with a concept. Harley is a retired pediatrician. He's a parenting expert, loves baseball and softball, coached his kids, coached his grandkids. So he came up with the concept of, equating the game to life. And he came up with 101 chapters.
Okay.
And then he invited me in because we had such different perspectives. He kind of saw it at the grassroots level. I saw it at the elite level.
Yeah.
And he thought he liked the idea of having me come in and kind of infuse the book with my perspective. And then also using my contacts to help us actually sell the book. David Wright, the New York Mets, maybe not your favorite player, Lou, but
no, I listen. I'm one of the guys who says the poor guy, if he didn't get hurt, he'd have been a Hall of Famer for sure.
Right. So he wrote the foreword to the book. And then we got some cool names to write, endorsements or blurs. Reggie Jackson, Bernie Williams, former Phillies manager Joe Girardi, and a few others.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me about that intersection, some of those intersections of where you were able to, where you gave the input to a specific area that Harley gave.
Harley. Yeah. So some of it was like just terminology, Lou, like even like when you reach first base and you take a few steps off first base, like what do you call that?
Taking a lead.
Right. So I guess apparently in Little League in Colorado, where Harley lives, they call it a lead off, like taking a lead off. So I was like, let's call it a lead, so
a lead, right. Okay.
Yeah. Little things like that. And then some of it was, just kind of, I think it's hard for me to get too specific, just because my memory, but, a lot of it was kind of like, I guess he had the perspective of the kids and I had the perspective of the grownups, and, sometimes it was a matter of, I'm not really sure we need to dramatize this as much as it is. But it was a really nice back and forth, where it really, like, he and I have never met. He lives in Colorado. I live in New York City. We've just Zoomed many, many times, and spoken on the phone, but like, it was always above board and always respectful. And like, often, like, Harley is such a character. I always found myself laughing when I disagreed with him, but we talked it through, and we came up with compromises.
So I'm interested to hear, because you guys got along so well, do you remember any of those disagreements and how that solved itself? I'd love to hear that, if you have any examples.
Well, I gave you the lead example.
Right.
It's a good question you're asking. I just trying to think, there were just certain passages that I thought, I guess generally I was the more, what's the word I'm looking for? I tend to ground things more,
Okay.
like maybe de-dramatize them.
Yeah.
So I think that was, yeah. And you're asking for specific examples, which is very fair of
Very
you.
hard.
But I'm honestly just struggling to remember. Like I know, like one chapter we talked about was switch hitting,
Okay.
and the idea of, and I'm looking to see what number that is. That is chapter switch hitting 28. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And the idea of, don't get in over your skis, don't try to take on too much, because in, little league, look, only the real best of the best can really be successful switch hitters, right?
Absolutely.
So, at the little league level, it's pretty ambitious to try to be a switch hitter. And but there was just some stuff in there like, oh, well, most people hit better from their natural side anyway, so why switch hit? So I said, well, look, Harley, like, a lefty hitter does hit a righty pitcher better, most of the, percentage wise, and a righty batter does hit a lefty pitcher. So I just want to acknowledge those truths while still preserving the message.
Gotcha. Yeah, that must, listen, I'm just thinking that would have, you had fun. I mean, because you've covered the game and you know the game so well.
Yeah.
That it had to be fun to be able to collaborate with this guy, and he, with all of his expertise as a pediatrician, and working with and a parenting expert too, right?
Yeah.
Because I look at it, and I get your perspective. So, is your perspective? Let me go back from the elite side of players. When you said elite, you're talking about your input was on the elite side of what players are looking at, and then he was more like the kid.
To simplify, I think that's right. I really appreciate, like, no one else has really gone in this direction with interviews, so it's making me exercise different muscles in my brain. So I appreciate that. So yeah, I just think I think that's right. Like with the switch hitting, like just the idea, like, well, look, let's not go overboard here. Like, there is a reason why people try to switch hit, because it works, if you can pull it off, so whereas I think in the initial draft he was like, it doesn't make any sense anyway, because, a righty hitter is going to, if a righty hitter expands to the left side, he's always going to hit better from the right side anyway. And my point was, okay, but at the major league level, like Francisco Lindor, or our new congressional candidate in Texas, Mark Teixeira, he switch hit because he found it more effective and he could pull it off. So I didn't want to completely dismiss the notion of switch hitting, but again, I get it. At the little league level, it is quite ambitious, and just like in other walks of life, in school, you don't want to take on too many honors courses if you don't want, so that I agreed with the lesson. It was just kind of the wording that we talked through.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm just, again, my brain just hit, and when I hear something that I get excited about, my brain just continues to roll. So I'm thinking about the camping and the kids and the training lessons that you could give camp owners, camp directors, and counselors about working with kids, right? Do you have a chapter that you could go look at and say, yeah, this applied, this could apply to them? I mean, I'm sure they all do, but any of them really would stand out in terms of, would it help the counselors work with the kids better? Would it help the owners work with their administrative staff better? Would it help teachers in their classrooms?
Yeah, I think a lot of, the whole idea was every chapter can be applied to all these other walks of life. I mean, we do have 3 consecutive chapters about coaches.
Okay.
Chapter 85, the coaches coaching when you need better advice, and just acknowledging the reality that your coach and authority figures aren't right 100% of the time, and sometimes you need to seek advice from other parties, other people in authority. Chapter 86 is the coach's signs, follow instructions when not to follow instructions, from authority figures. And
Okay.
then number 8, chapter 87 is thanks, coach. Show appreciation to your coach and show appreciation to the authority figures in your life.
Yeah, and another one I would think. Do you have one in there about? And I didn't, because I was very shy with adults when I was younger.
Me too.
Were you really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was asking questions. I've asked more questions now as a 70-year-old than I do. Like I was walking, right? And they're paving a road outside of me of a new complex they're going to put in. And I just intrigued by the guys who do that work, right? I was so tempted to stop and just ask them how it all works, right? So not being and that's not a huge challenge, right? My thought is don't bug them because they're working, right? But for my own identification, how does all this tarring and thing work? Why do they have those guys go over the tar 5, 6, 7, 8 times, right? So I'm thinking, is it in there about asking questions?
Gosh, asking questions.
Not being afraid to ask.
Well, you might have got me there, Lou.
I hate putting you on the spot,
and yet you did.
But you laugh it off, which is great. Or maybe that'll be an addendum, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the idea of the coaches coaching when you need better advice, the idea of just challenging your own assertions and assumptions. So there's some of that there, but in terms of asking questions specifically, I'm not sure we have. I mean, if Harley were here with us, he would spin some of his magic and find the right chapter. But I think I might strike out on this one.
Okay, no problem. You just said strike out. And what about plate discipline? Is any of those in there?
Yeah, actually here. I mean, so chapter we have chapter 13 is the called strikeout, take a chance, try again, and chapter 14 is the swinging strikeout, make good decisions, right and wrong. And then we have chapter 15, the check swing, changing your mind, admitting your mistakes, keeping your promises.
Oh, I like that one. The check swing. Yeah, that's really good.
The idea that, all right, I'm gonna swing at this pitch. Hold on, maybe not. I'm gonna join my friends. They're gonna, ride the bike across some dangerous terrain. Oh no, maybe not. And go back. So that's the check swing.
Yeah, that too goes along with obviously the decision making process,
right? Making
choices, which is what we're always taught when you're teaching kids. You have a choice. You can do this or you can do this.
Right.
You decide. You might not make the right choice, then you have to suffer the consequences. And those are the kinds of things that I'm sure relate into the book. Reggie Jackson and Joe Girardi, you said were so. What did they particularly think about or write about in terms of the specifics of the book?
Well, I thought of those guys as well as Bernie Williams. Reggie's obviously Hall of Famer, Mr. October. Joe, I thought would enjoy the book because I know how much he cares about young people and playing the game right. And then Bernie Williams is just a very special human being who I also thought would appreciate it. So, we essentially have on the back of the book, we have like the short versions of their blurbs. So I can share those with you. Reggie says, this is a book that needs to be on the shelf of every young player and fan, every coach, and every school library. Bernie Williams masterfully breaks down the complicated game of baseball into simplified life lessons. And Joe Girardi, the lessons to be learned from baseball and softball are endless, and this book displays them beautifully. I think it's brilliant. So I'm very appreciative that those guys gave the book the support they did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Again, especially, during these times, trying to like I said, treat everybody with respect.
Yeah.
Understand the differences amongst us. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Ken, this book, I'm just getting excited for you
to
get a hold of every darn board of education in the country. But we'll start with the camps first,
Okay.
because I really do think that will resonate with people in the camping community, because it's, again, as these guys have said, it's not just, again, and like what you said, it's 12-year-olds and up. How do you teach this? Maybe becomes a curriculum in schools, right? This
That'd be
book,
nice.
chapter by chapter, right?
Yeah. That'd be
Work
nice.
on that for character development, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. The YMCA, the American Camp Association, just did a grant awarding for a character counts grant. I was a reviewer of about 15 of these grants, and it was all about, how you can implement character, or increase your um, character message in your camping programs. And it just sounds like the book. It just sounds like the book. I mean, you should be very proud of this. I know you are, of where you have taken this, from, again, co-authoring, and Rothbart is the key one, but to be able to have been involved with this and bring your specific background to, and intermingle the two of you, is absolutely, terrific.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is not having read the book. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah. I hate to send you a copy. I hope you don't hate it.
No, I would probably take it to the school that I went to, that I used to work for here at Friends School of Wilmington. The Friends schools would love this book. I mean, it's just sounds amazing. It just sounds unbelievable.
Thank you.
You are teaching writing. Is that right, as the adjunct?
Journalism and writing, different
Journalism,
courses.
okay.
Yeah, this semester I'm teaching feature writing.
Okay. Feature writing as opposed to other types of writing, which is what?
Well, specifically feature stories, and
Okay.
I think feature stories have a certain style to them, storytelling, and I think, even though not all of my students aspire to be journalists, I think there are skill sets from this class that they can apply to anywhere else in their life.
Awesome.
How to dig down information, how to develop relationships, and how to tell your story in a compelling, entertaining, meaningful way.
Yeah, and relationships is another one. I mean, it's all about relationships. Life is all about relationships, and again, this book, that's all what it's all about. I mean, that's every chapter to me seems like it's about some developing how you improve and acknowledge relationships, whether one's gone bad, to make it better, that kind of thing. So, or improving upon them, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it looks like, it just sounds like you hit every single important piece of growing up and teaching these character values, which is
except for asking questions. So we got to. I'll come up with something.
Asking an addendum, I won't ask for much. I mean, a percent of it, that's fine. I'll even help write the chapter. Your experience, let's go back a little bit to the baseball, and then we'll let you go. Before you got disillusioned, what was the most fun? I mean, having met your dream from age 7 and finally getting there was probably just, whoa, here I am. Look what I'm doing. This is cool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I covered my first game, first major league game in 1995. Mets Giants at Shea Stadium. Very forgettable game, but I think the Giants won 5-1. But just no doubt for me, it was, oh my God, I made it. I'm here. And then to keep climbing that ladder, and then there was what we call like a backup beat writer, which means that I backed up the Yankees and Mets beat writers, and then I became a beat writer myself, Yankees beat writer for the Bergen Record. Each step along the way was very meaningful, and I thought about 7-year-old me a lot.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Players that were easy to talk to, and then we're going to go the other way.
David Wright is right at the top. And then, it was terrific was Hideki Matsui.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Great guy. He didn't speak perfect English. He actually did rely on his interpreter, even, off camera, but just such an amenable person and a very funny guy.
Yes. That's interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Curtis Granderson is a guy who was just like you couldn't get the smile off his face. It was remarkable. Like I said this to Curtis himself. Like one time I wanted to just go up with like a paper bag and just like pop it in his face to see if he would blink. Because I don't think he would have. He was remarkable. And then David Cohn, the pitcher and now the broadcaster. Yeah, he understood at such a granular level, like what the media needed from him and how he could accommodate them and how he could remove the burden from his teammates while at the same time honoring his teammates and not betraying them.
Nice.
So he was just an absolute master.
He got it. He got it. Sounds like it. Yeah. And one last thing, who was really someone that didn't like people talking to them, like you, and others.
Well, let's see. You're asking us because there's different strains of good interviews and different strains of bad interviews. But first, people just didn't like to talk. I'll tell you a funny story, Lou. And this is about not a world famous player, but there was a pitcher named Brian Boehringer. He bounced around with Yankees for a few years, San Diego, the Giants, and he kind of was like he had like a wry smile, and he was on the 1996 Yankees. He got a ring, and he bounced. I think he went to the Padres. Then he came back to the Yankees in 2001. So in spring training, it was like, "Hey man, hey Brian, hey Bo, how are you? Good to see you." He's like, "I'm good, but I'm not doing any interviews." And I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "I've just chosen not to." I'm like, okay, with all due respect, he was like a middle reliever, so we could get by. He wasn't the ace, he wasn't the cleanup hitter. We'll live. So then, in the middle of that season, the Yankees trade him again to the San Francisco Giants, and I had some personal stuff going on, so I kind of middle of that season, I get off the road, but I can still work at home. So I'm like, they had me cover some Mets home games while the Yankees were on the road. So I go to the Giants are at the Mets, and I walk into this is at Shea Stadium. I walk into the visiting clubhouse at Shea, and there's Brian Boehringer talking to a reporter. And so I let him finish the interview, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, you wouldn't talk to the guys in New York, but now you're talking to the San Francisco reporter? And he says, I swear, this is the first interview I've done. It was just so funny.
That is funny.
And he's a guy, I remember I saw him at Old Timers Day years later, at Yankees Old Timers Day, and he was with Sterling Hitchcock, the pitcher. And Sterling was one of the funniest guys I've ever covered. So and I was like, hey, Brian, are you still boycotting the media? And he laughed. He laughed. And Hitchcock says, don't worry, he didn't talk to us either.
That's funny. That's really funny. But he got it too. He understood. Him laughing, yes.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really good. You are lucky, man. I mean, that's one of the things. I grew up, obviously loving baseball. Grew up in Livingston, listened to Marv with the Rangers and the Knicks. 1969-70 was an amazing year. Initially it was like, God, I didn't think that I could do that. I would love to have done it. I wasn't a good writer at all, even in high school. So it never really occurred to me. For taking pictures, now that would have been, sports photography would have been great.
Yeah.
But I got this instead. And this is just good enough right now to be able to talk to people like yourself, a lot of baseball book authors I talk to, some former players. It's just, for me, it's just an honor to talk to people like yourselves who've taken the time to write a book. I mean, that's just awesome to me. And a great subject, and to someone who can, tell stories like you can, which is great. So, Ken, show us the book again.
Sure. Thank you, Lou. So it's 101 Lessons from the Dugout, written by myself and Dr. Harley Rothbart. It is available on Amazon. It is available at our publisher is Bloomsbury, so it's available on that website, and hopefully it's available at your local bookstore. Yeah,
absolutely. Folks, get the book, but don't get too many because I want to see if I can get Ken to sell them at camp conferences.
Yeah. But send me your address. I'll send you a signed copy.
Oh, that's awesome. That'd be great. We'll do that.
Of course.
And then we'll connect with you
okay.
about contacts.
Hey, I'll hire you as my agent, Lou.
Okay. Hey, I'm retired. I got time, buddy. All right, listen, Ken. Again, appreciate the time. Congrats on the book. It's a huge success, and we'll be in touch for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks for your time, Lou.
All right, thank you, Ken.
All
Take
right,
care
take
now.
care. You too. Bye bye.
Bye. Well, that was great. Again, that resonates for me because what I've done in my career working with kids. Can't wait to get the book and just provide a learning opportunity for kids and adults alike. It's you can't ever stop learning. That's what I've learned in my later life here. Pardon me. You can't ever stop learning. I'm not one to sit on the couch and just what am I going to do today? Do this. I do other things outside the house. So it's about keeping busy, developing relationships, and having fun. That's the key. Having fun. That's my message for the evening. All right. I don't have any other information for you folks. I'm just getting ready to wrap up here. Let's see if there's any specific sports news that I can find on ESPN before we say goodnight for the evening. No, just looking forward to the NCAA tournament coming up. Selection Sunday, like I said, is in 15th. Daylight savings time. It doesn't get dark until 6:30ish. It's awesome. It's going to get later and later too. As we go forward, it's springtime. It's baseball time. As I will also try to continue to get baseball cards, and maybe I got to splurge a little more to get a box that guarantees a hit, but that's like cheating. Anyway. Enjoy the World Baseball Classic if you're into that. Again, starts tonight and then continues for the next 2 weeks. And I'm hoping Lou is back next week. Wishing Lou feeling better. He's also got a meeting at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oof. So he had to just take a night off and just go to sleep early and get to your meeting on time. All right, folks. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. This has been the Extravaganza with Mitch on the Captain Lou Sports Network. And I appreciate you being here. And we will post a replay of this podcast probably tomorrow. And hope the weather stays good for you. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place. Everybody have a good week. And I don't have Lou's ending comments. I will say to mine, keep your eye on the ball. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.